Riv, you've been low on the Kings all show, and we talked about the Jazz and the Kings. So now we're going to talk about it now. John, who's on the show often, made a TikTok about them saying that, hey, listen, the Kings, they have a pretty good roster. They have some good NBA players. So how much noise can the Kings make in the West's upcoming season? And I don't want you to start. I want Drew to start with this because last year you had them as a play-in team.
You're too early,
almost
man.
making the playoffs.
You're too early.
So you said you're too early right now. Do you think this is the year they finally do it?
I don't know, man. We literally just rattled off a bunch of teams in the Western Conference that I do clean have over them. You get to that spot of the Lakers, the Blazers, the Pelicans, the Timberwolves. These are teams that I just definitely look at and just don't know if the Kings are going to be able to be on their level. Maybe Portland. It depends on how Damian comes back and how that team, given the new construction of it, ends up shaping out to be and playing together. But Sacramento, 100%, this roster is cute. AaronFox, Kayvon, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray that they just drafted, and we spoke about it on a show last week, that the Keegan Murray selection was one that was necessary, but one that was going to inevitably be criticized because Jaden Ivey was able to be selected. But Sacramento Kings have drafted a point guard 3 years running. They couldn't have done it again. And Keegan Murray is going to be a fine ball player. He fits what the Kings needed. So I was fine with drafting for necessity. And Sabonis, whether you guys, believe it or not, Sabonis is still an all-star caliber player. Regardless of what you say, that is what Sabonis is. This roster is not bad. There are just teams that you look at in the Western Conference that are better. Their ceiling, you have to look at it from right now, is a play-in team, but that's really it. I don't see it much more than that. But this is definitely going in the right direction if you're a Kings fan. You've been in misery for years and years and years, but at least there's some type of structure here. They're trying to do their best to form this roster around AaronFox and surround him with guys that can also create for themselves and hit shots and when they get the ball. But this really is all about AaronFox and if he's able to be the best player on a team, and I don't know if he's able to bring this team to the playoffs.
I like the Kings.
Yeah.
I like the Kings this season.
I get it.
And I don't know if the audience has noticed this trend with me. It's actually this the first year that we've actually had a lot of traction on the show. Last year there was traction on the show
Last
for
year
sure.
we got it going.
To the point that, people did see my Minnesota take. When it comes to predicting teams for the upcoming season, there's no one better than me. It's as simple as that. When I like a team and I see potential in that team and I say, look, hey, watch out for that team. Watch out for that one over there. That team usually tends to be the one that people are surprised by. This past season, it was Minnesota. It was the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And for you to don this title on your name, let's hear another one outside of Minnesota.
You want for last season? I don't think I had one.
I'm just you saying that there's no one better.
We want to
than
hear
you.
your track record.
I'm
That's
just saying.
Okay,
give me the
you want
track
me
record.
to NFL? Want me to name NFL?
So we're going NFL. I thought NBA.
Okay,
we're talking
let's
NBA.
do NBA
this is an NBA
standings.
show.
Let's do NBA standings for the. I'm just gonna be quick with this.
Okay.
Let's do NBA standings for the 2021 season, the 2020 and 2021 season. So in the
The Pelicans got to be that team for me. That's the obvious one. Are the Kings yours?
the year before, this past season it was Minnesota. The year before it was Phoenix. When they made the Chris Paul trade, I said they're the top 3 seed in the West. They finished with the 2nd seed in the West. And everybody at the time, they didn't think the CP3 was a home run move.
Oof, really?
They did not.
Really?
They did not.
After he took that OKC team to the playoffs?
Yes, but people thought that Phoenix, they thought they'd make the playoffs,
That
but
second
they
seed
didn't
whatever
think
they
they'd be a
was.
top 3 seed. I said they'd be a top 3 seed. It's documented. We can go back and look at the footage.
That's all right, man. I believe
And then
you.
in football, 2018, Chicago Bears go 12-4 with Mr. Trubisky. 2019, the Washington.
What about your Raiders?
Washington. The Raiders, well, they folded every single year. This past season, I had 2, Minnesota and Philadelphia. Philadelphia impressed me.
Pick?
So
Vikings
for the most part, Vikings didn't completely flop. They just lost a lot of close
They were
games.
underwhelming.
They were, but they lost a lot of close games. So when it comes to projecting teams, I'm pretty good at that. I say all this to say that is Sacramento one of those? I'm on the fence about them. I'm definitely leaning towards
putting your stamp of approval on them.
I'm definitely leaning towards playing
The Joel V. Moran stamp.
I know that the West is tough, so I'm not going to say they're a playoff lock.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about the play-in, yeah, of course they can do it. The additions they made were awesome. Monte McNair in his exit press conference said that he wanted to surround his team with shooters.
Yep.
That's something that the Kings have lacked for years. The year before this, their team was Bielitsa, Buddy Hield, Bogdanovich. No, I'm looking at the year before that. The year before this past season, Buddy Hield inconsistent, although he's a really good shooter. Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley, Maurice Harkless, DeLon Wright, Metu. These are good players, but are they like really, really good NBA players or not? Right? They're not. But Monte McNair, his one thing has been that he wants to surround his team with shooting because shooting has been the problem for the Kings the past couple of seasons. Defense has been the problem with the Kings the past couple of seasons. So what does McNair do? McNair goes out and hires a defensive guru in Mike Brown, who the Warriors this past season credited with their improved defense. With Klay Thompson coming back, being great defensively, he credits Mike Brown for that. For Steph Curry being better defensively, he credits Mike Brown for that, for pushing him every single day. For Jordan Poole being better defensively, he credits Mike Brown. And then you add shooters in Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, who are 38% three-point shooters or above, Keegan Murray, who is a very good shooter. He's a polished prospect. We've been seeing what he's doing in summer league. He's averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, shooting 51% from the field and 44% from three. And Monte McNair, these past 3 drafts, has been pretty good. He's drafted Keegan Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, and Davion Mitchell. I think that's a pretty good track record so far for Monte McNair in the draft. He really hasn't messed up Kings picks like they usually mess up in the past. We're looking at a starting lineup of AaronFox, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis.
That's cute. At the minimum, it's cute.
You're looking at a bench of Malik Monk, Davion Mitchell, Rashawn Holmes, who am I crazy for saying Rashawn Holmes is a starter on a lot of teams in the NBA?
I would love for him to
I'm
be
not crazy for that. What about Davion Mitchell? He's not a starter on the guard position in the NBA is stacked, but he's a guy who averaged 11 points per game last year as a rookie, 4.4 assists, and he's Patrick Beverley, but I think he has more offensive upside than Patrick Beverley. In my opinion, that's Davion Mitchell.
I'm with you.
Malik Monk, who for the Lakers last year, he was huge for you guys.
He stabbed me in the back.
He had a really great season.
I didn't want to mention him out of boycotting Malik Monk.
Malik Monk is also playing with his former counterpart in AaronFox. I love that. Terrence Davis is not a bad player either, a bad rotational player. And Chimezie Metu, who last year was a very good wing player for Sacramento off the bench as well. And they also have an overseas prospect that may or may not join the team in Sasha Vezenkov, who's been very, very great overseas. He has until July 20th to sign his NBA contract, or else he'll be back with his team in Greece. But that's something to be excited about. Mike Brown said, "There's just a lot of opportunity here for this place to explode, and I want to be a part of it." This team hasn't made the playoffs since 2006. They're hungry to make the playoffs. Now, the biggest question mark is AaronFox. And the biggest question mark is AaronFox's defense. Offensively, I'm not worried about him. It's defensively.
Also is mid.
He said this. Obviously, I walked away impressed with his speed. This Mike Brown saying this about AaronFox. Obviously, I walked away impressed with his speed, but I thought he was a dog defensively. Brown said of Fox. This is when he went and saw him in high school in AAU. So there's going to be a lot of pressure of him coming from me, not anybody else, to get back to what I know he can do on this level night in and night out. That's from Mike Brown. I think AaronFox is going to be significantly better on the defensive side of the ball. And when Tyrese Halliburton got traded from Sacramento, AaronFox quietly in the month of November in 8 games averaged 27.
November?
No, month of February, my bad. AaronFox averaged 27 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 50% from the field and 35% from 3. Then in March, in 8 more games, he averaged 31, 4 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 50% from the field, and 40% from 3. And with DeMontis, when he plays with DeMontis Sabonis, he's averaging around these numbers. He's already had a season where he's averaged 25 points per game.
You know what
the fact that you talk about De'Aaron Fox he's some scrub is disrespectful.
The team's
now,
mid.
De'Aaron Fox is going to have a big-time season next year along with Sabonis. They have the proper depth around this team, and they're going to be a play-in team, 100%. Do you guys think there's a gap between them and Portland? I think this roster's better than Portland.
Yeah, Portland and them is the...
I think this roster's better than Portland.
I'm just stretching. I'm about to talk.
Chill.
Let me ask you, Drew. Who on Portland... Is there a player on Portland outside of Dame that's better than DeMontis Sabonis?
No, absolutely not.
Is there a duo on Portland that's better than the duo of De'Aaron Fox and DeMontis Sabonis?
Definitely not.
What about Portland that just signed Nurkic, who's always injured, Jeremy Grant, who only cares about stats and losing, and they're what? What's their depth looking like? Shaedon Sharp, who doesn't look like he cares about basketball.
Simon's
I love Anthony Simons. Yeah, I love that. But really, we're talking...
Josh Hart's on the squad?
I think he was re-signed.
River, are you telling me this team of Portland, I'm just assuming Simons is coming off the bench.
Right.
Are you telling me this team in Portland with Dame, Gary Payton, the second, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, and Nurkic is better than this starting lineup the Kings have? It's not. It's not. It's not.
Are you done?
It's not.
With spiel?
And do you think Chauncey Billups is going to be a better coach than Mike Brown? He's not.
Okay. You guys are hilarious. You two. I expected this from you because of last year, but you. Now you're the Aaron Fox guy.
I'm really interested to what you have to say because are we saying that they're a play?
He just said they are a
play.
He did say play-in lock, and I'm going to get to that. And for starters, I love Mike Brown. You guys know this. Mike Brown is dope to me. Great defensive coach. He's been a defensive coach since the Cleveland days.
I got love from Mike Brown.
He had them playing defense for sure. So shout out to Mike Brown. He's going to make them a little bit better. Their moves that they made. Now, they're good moves, but moves that move me, I'm not. Murray's a rookie.
Are we trying to say?
I don't know much about Metu, so I'm not going to say anything about Metu. Mm-hmm. Harrison Barnes, we kind of already know what he is at this point.
He's a very good
fine ball player.
Yeah, a good player. We know. Like I'm saying, he's peaked. We know what he is as a ball player at this point.
I can agree with that.
Davion Mitchell, we're waiting for him next year to make that necessary step as a better playmaker, a better ball handler, a better shooter. So we're ready to see that next step. Kevin Huerter, I've seen him play Atlanta. Yeah, he's a shooter on good days. On bad days, he shouldn't be on the court. But that's neither here nor there. Can this team be better than Portland? It really depends on Dame. I really do think it just depends on Dame.
Agreed.
Dame was playing with a strained abdominal all year, so I think him being healthy, I do like the squad that Portland has. I think that's a good enough squad for him to be better than the Kings. Absolutely, because the duo of De'Aaron Fox and DeMontis Sabonis does not faze me one bit. It can be Damian Lillard and any other player on that team, and I'm taking that duo over those two. Undoubtedly. You mentioned De'Aaron Fox in February and in March, but you didn't mention the wins. I want to hear the wins out of those games. Kevin Huerter is a good player, but he's not a defensive player. He is a shooter, but he is very inconsistent as a shooter. He was in Atlanta. Can he improve that in Sacramento? Obviously, of course. You mentioned they haven't made the playoffs since 2006. Playing, though, we rattled off 9 knockdown teams, so it really just comes down to Portland. Can they be better in Portland? Like I said, it really comes down to Dame. That team around him, though, is pretty firm. They are another team who they needed to add defense, and they've added a lot of defense. Gary Payton, Jeremy Grant, Chauncey Billups, he was good as a coach last year. Can he be better than Mike Brown? I don't know. It's still a wait and see. Mike Brown, this is going to be his first time back into the fold, but they're both pretty good coaches to me, in my opinion. But it really just depends on Damian Lillard. Like I said, Nurkic, he has to be healthy. If he's healthy, they can get some good production from him. I like Nurkic as a basketball player. But this Kings talk has to stop. You guys have been talking about the Kings being this exciting, fun team.
This is the first year I have.
Well, I'm speaking to the general. You've been talking about the Kings being an exciting, fun team. The Warriors used to talk about this team.
Who in the general public has talked about Kings at all?
Back in the day, they were the ninth seed.
Yeah, they were talking about this is a fun, exciding team that's going to shock the world.
That year that the Clippers,
it's
true. Yeah, and the 2019, I think. That was when the Clippers, the Clippers were the 8th seed and the Kings were the 9th.
Yeah, and now you're talking about this team is a play-in lock. because of De'Aaron Fox. We're sleeping on De'Aaron Fox. You have De'Aaron Fox ranked the same place I have De'Aaron Fox ranked. So I don't know how I'm sleeping and you're not. That's weird to me, but you know what? We're going to just move.
We probably have him ranked different places.
You don't have him as a top 15 point guard. I know you don't.
Top 15 point
guard?
You
don't.
I absolutely do.
You are a liar. And
There's no doubt about it.
Yo.
When have I ever said he's not a top 15 point guard?
Wow. This is
Have
insane.
I ever said that?
Yeah, you've actually legit said that.
I have not said that.
So you think he's a top 15 point guard?
Riv,
I think he is.
you put on your Twitter your point guard list. Add Durag Riv.
I don't think he has a point guard list.
No,
I think it was
it's only
John's.
top 10 though.
Okay.
I think it was John's.
You know what? Let's pull up John's.
Well, he'll be better than DeJounte Murray this year.
What DeJounte's gonna play 2 guards?
DeJounte Murray's only been better than Fox for one season. That was last season.
Didn't they make the play-in because of DeJounte Fox? I mean, DeJounte Murray?
Yeah, the Spurs are a very good coach team. They're a well-coached team. Coaching matters, man.
Coaching does matter.
It does matter a lot.
The Kings have a rookie coach.
The Kings have a coach who's had multiple 61 seasons.
With who?
LeBron James.
Oh.
All right, you ready?
Talk to me.
Here we go. Steph Curry, Trae Young,
Right.
Damian Lillard,
Okay.
John Moran,
Yeah.
Chris Paul,
Okay.
Darius Garland,
Right.
Luka Doncic, obviously,
Okay.
Kyrie Irving,
Mm-hmm.
Drew Holiday,
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray,
Mhm.
Fred VanVleet.
What number is that at this point?
This is 11 now.
He's better than Fred.
Now he's better than
He's
Fred.
better than, I think Jamal Murray and him is close.
I don't hate that opinion.
I hate it because he would have never said it if he didn't have a Kings agenda right before today.
What do you mean? You
Yeah,
didn't
Fox,
ask
bro.
me.
What did he average? Did he
That's
average
why.
20,
That's why I hate
27 points, 28 points one
it.
season?
25.
Was it 25?
It was 25.
25.
a game.
25.
It was
Like
25.
De'Aaron
game.
Fox is a lot better than I feel like you're giving him credit for.
No, I just think
So you think
he
if,
needs to
if
work
you,
on his
so
3-point shooting and his
if you-
free throw shooting.
If you had to pick one player to, not that you build your franchise around this player, but
Yeah, I
if you have
wouldn't
to,
build
if you
around
have to pick one player, you're picking Fred over De'Aaron
what's the
Fox.
situation.
I'm just talking about like you got to.
If you're
This
on
team has to be
Toronto.
your best player.
If you're
I'm
on
on
Toronto,
Fred.
If this team
with
this,
all the that's
this player
tough.
has
Fred
to
is a
be
better defender.
This player
is,
has
but
to be your
does-
best player.
Does De'Aaron need to be the defender that Fred is on Toronto for them to be successful?
I mean, he'll just become a cone.
But you still have OG to back you
What
up,
makes them
Trent
great
to
is the
back
fact
you
that
You
up.
all
don't think-
five of them can
you
guard.
don't
disagree.
you don't think that De'Aaron Fox in a better situation where they care about winning will be better
I mean, if
defensively?
you want me to,
Doesn't
He was a
De'Aaron also-
defensive pest coming out of college.
But doesn't De'Aaron also
talk to me?
heighten your offensive ceiling?
I mean, Fred is a better shooter, so I don't know. I don't think so.
But think about De'Aaron's still a prolific offensive player
Yeah, in
without
a bad
being a jump
situation.
shooter.
You're comparing a prolific offensive player in a bad situation to a guy who's a 20-point scorer on a playoff team. It's completely different. And he's a better shooter.
I guess you could say that.
So
Keep going with the names though, because they're like 12, right?
Yeah, no. Shea, you're taking Shea.
Easily.
LaMelo, I
Yeah.
would take LaMelo. DeJounte Murray.
Fox.
Have
He
a
had Fox.
conversation. No, he has DeJounte over De'Aaron.
Well, where's Fox on his list?
Fox is 16, so 17 because I'm including Luka as a point guard.
It's firm.
Those guys had better seasons than him last year, because if you account winning as well.
Yeah, I think he's
But-
he's around that, right?
Are you taking Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox?
Right now, De'Aaron Fox is better. Tyrese Halliburton has more potential.
Are you
though.
taking Tyrese Maxey or you're taking De'Aaron Fox?
Fox? Maxey has more potential, though. I would take Fox right now.
But what I'm saying is that, yes, he's a top 15 point guard. So move on to your next point.
Well, no, he wasn't in the top 15 on the list.
I
but
don't care about John's list.
I understand.
Yes.
There was some respect on
John, look, I love John. You know I love John. But when we're talking about if I think he's a top 15 point guard,
I'm just curious.
I
I've never
don't
heard
care
that.
about
No, I understand.
John's list in that aspect.
I've just never heard
He
that.
has him at 16, and I have players that are ranked higher than him over. I have Fox over some of those players. So for me, he's top 15.
Oh my God, he had Cade Cunningham 23.
He's a rookie.
Oh, but he put an arrow under his name, like he can definitely go up.
Smart for him. to do
That was
something.
lit.
That is very smart for him to do that. Yeah, no, I don't think the Kings will make the play-in. That's
I
just
apologize, John. That was rude.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
That
just
was
slightly.
I
just
don't
slightly.
think the Kings will make the play-in. That's just stupid to think that. I think
It's not stupid to think that.
Yeah,
But you just said
It's not stupid to think
call him
that.
a play-in lock. It's not stupid.
Play-in lock
It's
is
bold.
that- okay,
It's
let
bold.
me say that. Play-in lock. Calling them a play-in lock was stupid to say. Let me say that. Pardon
Because they
me.
could be that. You
I
said
apologize. They
that,
can be 11
that 10,
to 12.
that 9, 10.
Yeah, but calling them a play-in lock was stupid to
So
say.
the top 10 teams in the West, the Jazz were the 5th seed, the Spurs were the 10th seed. Are we not thinking they're going to drop out of that?
Okay, but then you have the Lakers.
The Lakers
Kings
will be
and
back.
Blazers.
The Clippers.
The Clippers are top 10, so that doesn't matter.
Name the teams. I'm so sorry. I blanked.
The Jazz and the Spurs were both top 10 teams in the West last year.
Jazz is going to be.
They're gonna drop
Interesting.
off,
And the Blazers.
and the Spurs are gonna drop off.
Well,
So,
I'm under the belief that the Jazz are just as good as the Kings, and I think
that's actually stupider to think than them thinking it's a play-in lot.
not really.
Thinking
But,
the Jazz are as
but I
good as the
think-
Kings, with currently constructed roster-wise, is legit ridiculous.
You're banking on Kevin Huerter.
I'm not
and
banking on Kevin
that's
Huerter.
what you're
I'm banking on two
vertical
All-Stars,
rotation.
De'Aaron
Domantas
Fox and
Sabonis and
Domantas
De'Aaron Fox.
Sabonis.
Two what?
Two All-Stars.
Bro, Domantas
They're
Sabonis is
All-Star
an
caliber
all-star.
players. Is De'Aaron Fox not an All-Star caliber player?
Rev, honestly, answer the question.
Is he an all-star caliber player?
Yes.
I guess so at this point because there's so many fucking all-star.
There is a lot of
Domantas
All-Star
Sabonis
calibers.
was actually an All-Star
He actually
too.
was.
This year or last year?
Last.
Yeah, like
I think he's
something
is he
like- in
multiple?
Indiana.
Well, he's made an All-Star
Yeah,
before.
you're relying on two of these dudes are, first of all, you're relying on both. Neither of them are top 35 players in the NBA. That's what you're relying on right now. You're relying on two non-top 35 players in the NBA, and then a bunch of
play-in team.
and then a bunch of okay to not good role players
He's a two-time All-Star.
in terms of Utah and Portland, where they have two established guys. I trust them
to
more.
not good role players.
Wait, who's two established
Who's
guy in
not
Utah?
good?
Damon, no, I'm saying Utah and Portland.
Wait,
Ah,
wait, hold up. Is
Kevin
Harrison
Huerter is not that good.
Is Harris?
I'm sorry, he's not that
Wait,
good.
for one. You know this is you do this a lot, Riv.
Talk
Is
to me.
like when we talk about a team, you get fixated on like the player that I am hyping up the least out of everybody.
No, I was going
Who
to-
the fuck is talked about Kevin Huerter making a big ass impact
I
on
was
the
talking about
Kings?
your rotation. Kevin Huerter's
You
not that
just
good.
the only person you've mentioned
because
is Kevin
I was
Huerter.
just about to
Am I
name-
wrong about that,
I
Drew?
was just about to name the rest.
It seems like Kevin Huerter seems to be on your mind.
Well, because that's the one guy who's going to start. So if he's going to start, I'm going to talk about him. He did say he was going to start, did he not?
is.
All right, Davion Mitchell
That's my
is not.
projection.
Davion Mitchell. Oh, you're projecting.
Wait, hold up. Is Harrison Barnes okay to not good?
He's okay.
Is Keegan Murray, you're projecting him to be okay to not good?
Rookie, I ain't going to project.
Okay, is Malik Monk okay to not good?
He's okay.
Whoa.
He's okay.
Throw
He's
some
okay.
respect on
What
Malik's
is he?
name.
Really good?
He's good.
Is
He's okay.
Rashawn Holmes okay to not good?
He's okay.
No, he's a good player.
He's a good ball player.
He's a good player.
Hey, guys.
Is
come
Davion
on.
Mitchell
hurt
an
last
okay
year.
to not good? Is he okay
He's
to not
okay
good?
at this point. Let's be realistic. He's okay at this point.
He's a good player.
Oh, my.
Davion,
Those
he's a
are
good
good
player.
players.
Mitchell is okay at
Hey,
this
bro,
point.
is Tyus Jones okay to not good? Let me just ask you that
No,
question.
Tyus Jones is.
He's good, right?
He's good. He's good.
Is
He's
Dave-
actually
Dave-
good, though.
Is Davion Mitchell not like on the same
on.
level as Tyus Jones, bro?
What the hell?
Is that not a
What?
fucking
I don't
fact,
know.
bro?
I don't know.
Are you dead
dumb.
ass?
No,
That's not dumb.
Tyus-
That's not
this is-
dumb.
that's
no,
crazy.
this
That's
is
not
sick.
dumb.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's-
Tyus Jones is just in Memphis, and he's in a better
Can
situation.
what can
That's not.
stop talking for a second? Can Davion
Davion Mitchell not do what Tyus Jones just
You
did
mean
in
lead
Memphis
the
last
you mean
year?
lead the league in assist to turnover
I was
ratios?
gonna
No,
say,
the hell
bro,
he cannot.
He was a
can't.
great.
He literally
He's a
can't.
great.
He's a better
playmaker.
scorer than Tyus Jones, though.
Why? Because he scores more.
No, we know he's a better scorer, bro.
Davion Mitchell?
He has a better handle than him.
Who?
Yes, Davion
You don't-
Mitchell does.
You don't even believe
Yes,
what you're
he
saying.
does.
There's no way
Yes,
you believe
he
what you're
does.
saying.
I don't know, bro.
Did you not
Tyus-
see
I
him
like
in the Baylor run to the championship? Did you not see
Like
him?
college, bro? That
He
was 2
led
years
them.
ago.
That was literally recently.
Yo, bro, you're sick.
In
No,
college, he's
my God.
called off night in the NBA.
Nah,
what are
bro,
you
you're-
talking about?
Nah, you're crazy for that one.
What are you
No,
talking
you're
about?
crazy for that
Can
one.
you name me 10
Hold on,
better
hold on,
defensive point guards in the NBA than Davion
Nah,
Mitchell?
hold on.
Can
Just
you?
Give me 1 second.
Can you?
That was no.
Can you? Let me. I want to know.
That was nutty. What's Davion Mitchell's 3-point percentage?
31%. He shot 31%.
Tyus Jones was 39.
That's great.
You said
He
you
was a
just
rookie.
said Mitchell
He was a
shoots better.
rookie.
That's what you just said.
No, I didn't. When did I say he
you
shot
just said-
better?
you just said he's a
I
better
I said
shooter.
he's a better ball handler.
He said ball handler.
Oh, okay. Pardon
Yeah.
me.
Oh wow, my guy, you really don't listen.
That
Tyus
is
Jones' rookie averaged 4 points.
Why are you comparing them as rookies?
Because I'm saying
One
Davion
came in
Mi-
at what 19. The other came in at 23 years old.
Okay, well,
You cannot compare them as
Tyus
rookies,
Jones
bro.
just had his
Tyus
big
Jones,
time
hold
year
on.
this year, bro.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that you say that? Give me a
Drew,
second.
listen. Tyus Jones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tyus Jones is in his 8th NBA season and just broke out.
And
now.
Davion Mitchell's in his first, and he's 3 years younger.
Davion Mitchell's in his
Just say
first.
Davion's ceiling's higher, 'cause it
Davion
is.
Mitchell's a rookie
Who's better
and
right
just
now?
averaged more points
You've
per
been
game than
on-
Tyus Jones has done in his entire career.
First of all, his team
What are you
sucks.
talking
His team
about?
sucks.
What are
That's
you
number
talking
one.
about?
Second of
What
all,
are you
you've been
talking
on
about?
record by saying he's the oldest. He's an old rookie. Of course, he's supposed to do that. He's an established player already. You've even said this is probably what he's gonna be for his career.
This is the type of player,
but Tyus, yes.
The efficiency, no, he can be better in all those aspects.
I'm sure he can.
Was,
but
in college, he shot great from three.
Stop talking about college. Nobody cares
but
about
we know
college
he can
anymore.
shoot. Yes, but
Austin Rivers was elite in college.
He wasn't elite
garbage
in college. He wasn't elite in college.
Jimmer Fredette was a knockdown shooter in college. He was not good in the NBA.
Rivers was mad good in college.
Stop it.
He wasn't elite, though.
Stop it. Please with the college
He was supposed
garbage.
to be a top 5 pick and drop to the 10.
The Baylor run. Nobody cares about that no more, bro. Like,
so look at this. So Davion Mitchell this past year averaged more points. He averaged more assists, and the rebounds he averaged 0.2 less. Look, Tyus Jones is more efficient in a way better situation under a great head coach in Taylor Jenkins, under an established offense. Memphis has a ton of good ass players.
My point is why his numbers look like that. Memphis eats, like their team eats, their whole team eats.
So you don't think Davion Mitchell goes if he
does? He's not the playmaker Tyus Jones.
I know
is. He's the reason he thrives in that situation.
He's not the playmaker Tyus Jones.
Who can start on the team out of those? Who can start on more NBA teams out of those two right now? And be honest, don't.
It's the same. It's really the same amount.